There is a myth in the context of serving one another, and it's that marriage works because of your similarities. And the reality is that's not true. God made them male and female. Don't you sometimes read that text and go, what the heck were you thinking, God? Yeah. Why did you make us male and female? We're almost opposites on everything we want to do. This isn't a plan. This isn't a good plan. All we do is butt heads because I like this, she likes that. What kind of crazy plan is this? And in that, you got to realize it's actually about flourishing in the differences, not the similarities. That's actually the point.
That's right. And we need to celebrate these differences. Often we focus on differences as a negative, but actually God intended them to help us to, like he said, to flourish, to grow. He meant it for our good. And for us, Mark is a sporadic guy. He would throw things on me last minute all the time. I'd get a call at 4 o'clock being like, hey, I just invited 3 couples over for dinner. Are you good? I'd be like, do I have a choice? Like, are they actually? He's like, yeah, we'll be home in an hour. I'll be like, okay, I'd hang up and I'd look around. My house is a disaster. I had 3 kids under the age of 4, nothing in the fridge. I'm like, sure, I'll figure this out. And it was crazy. But after all of those times, what I came to realize is Mark's actually made my life more adventurous. He's made my life more interesting because I would have just stuck with just the patterns of my life that kept me comfortable, kept me safe, and he challenged me in those ways. And now, actually, as time has gone on, I've evolved where it's often you coming home and I have a house full of people. And I'm like, so we got people for dinner.
That's
Surprise.
true. And I was thinking about this, like how many of you would have freaked out, like during Christmas, we went away for like 2 weeks, we were in California, kind of staying out of the rain, and it was during the time where you had to do all those like COVID tests in order to get back into Canada. And so we did all these COVID tests. We went to LAX. We lined up. We paid all the money. We sat there for 3 hours. We all got stuff shoved up our nose.
It was
like tickle your brain. And,
crying.
hey, you got COVID. You don't have COVID. All our kids are crying. We go through all that. We get the negative test. Our flight's in 2 hours. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just stay in California for a bit. I don't feel like going back to the rain. We've already been through it all. How many of you would have just lost your mind? Like, what are you doing? No. Our life's a little bit more controlled. I was like, forget it. We call up our friends. Can we come stay at your place? Yeah, let's go. And I'm like, okay, kids, we're going to stay in California.
Yeah. And then it puts me into the tailspin because this guy is like, hey, this can all just happen. Meanwhile, I'm the one sitting in a Barnes & Noble's trying to change everything in our life, trying to figure out how is this schedule going to work? How is this going to work? How do we switch this? Well, he's just walking around with a coffee, reading a book.
Yeah. Anyways, point being, I'm good for her. That's the principle. Write it down.
Yeah. Another thing that we often do is we compare the differences in other couples. I remember sitting with friends one night and they were asking what we were currently watching. And I said one series and Mark said another. And she's like, how do you guys do that with your busy lives? How do you both watch all that? And I'm like, well, I sit on my phone and watch mine and he sits beside me with his earbuds and watches his. And she was appalled. She's like, you can't do that. You guys need to watch the same thing so you guys can talk about it and be in community. And I'm like, yeah, we live different lives than you. Like, these two are retired. They probably have these quiet days where they're eager to talk and have communication. For us, by nighttime, I just want to zone in on my own. I don't need anything else. We are talked out. It works for us. It's not wrong. It's just different. So don't compare what works for other couples to what should work for you.